In the 2023 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc achieved his initial podium of the season by securing pole position in both the sprint shootout and the Grand Prix. Although he acknowledged that Ferrari had obtained the optimum outcome, he acknowledged that there were still areas that needed improvement. Let's hear what he, and the others, had to say about Ferrari's performance over the past weekend. At the Baku race on Sunday, the Ferrari driver took the lead over the Red Bulls at the start, but Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez overtook him later on, and Perez went on to win the race. Despite this, Leclerc's performance earned him his initial podium finish of the season, as well as a second-place finish in the sprint event, netting him a total of 22 points and elevating him to 6th place in the drivers' standings. Upon reflecting on the weekend, Leclerc said, "I'm here to win, and obviously second, third is not what I want. Considering the first 3 races which we've had, scoring 6 points in 3 races, this weekend is better. We didn't have any problems. It was a trouble-free weekend. I think when I look back at the weekend, I look back at every session and think we maximised absolutely everything in every single session. So on that, we should be happy. On the other hand, there is still work to do." During the race start, Leclerc, who had topped the qualifying sessions on Friday and Saturday, managed to launch cleanly and maintain his lead over front-row contender Verstappen as they entered Turn 1. However, once the DRS system was activated on the third lap of 51, Verstappen closed the gap and used the overtaking aid to pass Leclerc over the finish line. Leclerc was then overtaken once again on the inside run to Turn 1 at the start of lap 6, this time by Perez, who went on to win the race. Leclerc eventually finished in 3rd place. As Perez and Verstappen engaged in a fierce battle for the win, Leclerc fell behind by over 21 seconds at the finish line. Despite this, he managed to finish ahead of Fernando Alonso, who came in 4th. After the race, Leclerc stated that Red Bull is still in another league when it comes to race pace in comparison to Ferrari. Inquired by Damon Hill regarding Red Bull's 1-2 finish, Leclerc made his thoughts known, saying, "Yeah, again, they're in another league once it comes to the race. So the really good lap managed to put us in front, but then over 51 laps, it was just not possible. They have so much more pace than we do in race pace. So as I said yesterday, I think they found something that we didn't yet. And that's where our focus is at the moment. Everybody is working flat out to try and understand what we can do in the races, especially to just get more performance." Hill then inquired whether Leclerc believed that Ferrari was nearing Red Bull in terms of performance, to which he replied, "Honestly, the feeling is a little bit better, but when I see the gap, and I'm pretty sure that when you have this type of gap, you are probably not pushing 100%. So we don't really know how much we have closed the gap. The feeling is a little bit better, but again, also the Aston Martin was really quick today. So yeah, we still have a lot of work." Leclerc prevented Alonso from overtaking him, thereby ending the 2-time champion's streak of podium finishes in 2023. Leclerc commented, "He was pushing. I knew what his intentions were at the beginning, because he always does that, trying to keep the tyres at the beginning of the stint and push at the end. So I tried to do the same. And at the end, it was close, but not enough for Fernando today." And when prompted to talk about Aston Martin, this is what he had to say. "I think Aston Martin is quicker than us and has a better car than us in race pace. Red Bull has a much better car than us in terms of race pace, and that's where we need to make the biggest step forwards. In qualifying over 1 lap, with the juice of the tyres taking a bit more risk, we managed to do 2 poles, but then over 51 laps race distance, it's impossible." The other Ferrari driver, Carlos Sainz, finished in 5th place, ahead of Lewis Hamilton. However, he was overtaken by his fellow Spaniard Alonso after the safety car restart. Sainz admitted that he lacked the confidence to aggressively tackle the Baku circuit, saying, "I had to focus on just controlling Lewis, making it to the finish line in P5 without any mistakes, because today there was just no confidence to push in the car to get close to the walls. When you feel the car very loose around Baku, it just is what it is. We will now focus on what happened. We will finally have a bit of time to settle down and analyse what could have been, and I'm sure in Miami we will be back on form. I think we've extracted performance out of the car, but if you look in detail at our race pace compared to the Astons and the Red Bulls, they still have relatively much better race pace than qualifying pace compared to us. This is very high up on our list of things that we want to understand why, because definitely the points are on Sunday, and that's where you want to be quicker. Going back to Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso put heat on the tail of Charles Leclerc's Ferrari throughout the race with impressive pace in the latter stages. However, despite his efforts, he was unable to pass the Monegasque driver. Alonso, who had secured 3 third-place finishes in the initial 3 races, is now missing a podium finish this season as he fell to 4th in Baku. In an interview with Sky Sports following the race, he expressed surprise at seeing Ferrari and Leclerc on the podium, saying, "I think they got lucky. The hard tyre had less degradation than expected. We put on the hard tyres when the safety car came, and it was 38 laps to the end. It held on quite okay, then there were some clouds at the end, and the track temp dropped. I think on the medium tyres, the Ferraris had massive degradation in the first stint, so in a normal hot race, I think they will struggle more. Today was good for them, but Miami will be a different thing." Helmut Marko, Red Bull advisor, has stated that Ferrari possesses the most powerful engine on the Formula One grid. However, he believes that this level of output comes with a considerable trade-off. Speaking to Sky Sports about the red cars, he said, "Ferrari is very fast on a single lap, and they managed the dropping temperatures better than we did due to not being optimal in terms of air pressure. The Ferrari engine is the strongest in the field, but they can only unleash maximum power for a single lap, as they have had reliability issues in the past during the race. We were concerned about the result in qualifying, as everything was very close," Marko added. But this is the first time that Max Verstappen will start from the front row in Baku, and we should be in a better position for the race. Ferrari currently occupies the 4th spot in the Constructors' Championship, trailing the next best team Mercedes by 14 points. However, Ferrari was able to outscore the Silver Arrows by 16 points in Azerbaijan. The future is starting to look bright for them. But in your opinion, what sort of fate lies ahead for Ferrari this season? Comment your predictions down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.